Anyway, I received some intel that a friend of the show had a very funny, stupid, and infuriating take, as they call them these days, takes, regarding ContraPoints' Zionist narcissistic statement about how it's wrong to share Palestinians pleading for help as they are bombed into smithereens in oblivion by the genocidal Israeli state. I have received intel that the YouTuber Lonerbox, the famous child-killing enthusiast YouTuber Lonerbox, who justifies the killing of children, and who said that equal rights for Palestinians are anti-Semitic, I received intel that he had a very absurdly stupid so-called take. He tries to rationalize, oh, come on, guys. Why is it that the US is supporting Ukraine, but also at the same time helping to massacre people in Gaza? Why is that? And Lonerbox posits an explanation for this phenomenon, which I will show you here.
But it's worse than that. It's like, imagine if the opposition to the invasion in Ukraine was dominated by people who want to destroy Russia as a nation, who are calling for the Americans, the British, and the Europeans and everyone else to get involved and to storm the gates of Moscow and take down the regime because they're a cancerous entity that will never stop, that will never be contained. Imagine if that was what dominated the movement, and then politicians are just sitting there with no fucking idea what to do or how to respond to these demands, abolish Russia. And then they just end up doing fuck all, basically. That's kind of the world, I think, analogy for how ContraPoints feels.
Okay, my friend Lonerbox, let me explain this to you. There doesn't need to be a pro-Ukraine movement. Ukraine, by default, had the support of every single significant Western imperialist power. These countries do this not because there is a movement that advocated for the right things. They do this because it's within their geopolitical interest to do so. They don't give a single fuck about what you or any of these other pro-Ukraine people say, which is why it's ridiculous that you focused on Ukraine so much, because you don't have any effect on it. And the reason why they are supporting the genocide in Gaza, the reason why they are supporting the mass child murder and rape that you yourself have attempted to justify on multiple occasions, it's because they view doing that as being within their own geopolitical interests. The reason why there is a pro-Palestine movement at all is because of that. Is because in the West, they do that. In the West, they support what's happening in Gaza. It's not because of that movement that they don't support what's happening in Gaza. It's not why politicians don't take action. They wouldn't be taking action anyway. In fact, they do take action. Action for Israel to help them massacre those kids. What in the holy fuck are you talking about, you goddamn moron? Not to mention, these situations aren't even remotely the same. Saying abolish Russia. Russia's a real country in the very least. Russians are a real thing. Israel isn't a real country. Israel was founded fucking 70 years ago. There's no history, no nothing, by fucking foreigners who moved there from elsewhere and stole the land to give it to themselves. People are factually saying, in regards to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Russian settlers who moved into Mariupol should be removed. They are saying that there, Russian control of Mariupol should be removed. That's the actual analogy. The situations aren't the same. Russia is not a fucking settler, a country that only exists as a settler colonial state, founded artificially as a result of imperialism by literally nothing but foreigners who moved there from elsewhere and constructed a false colonial identity, a fucking fake made-up colonial identity for themselves as Israelis. So you can attack this argument from a billion different fucking angles. It's just, not only is it factually untrue, the implication that the fucking West supports the Gaza genocide because pro-Palestinian people don't give enough leeway to the genocidal Zionists who want a Jewish supremacist ethno-state, and Lonerbox thinks that's too radical of a demand to be against that. They do not support the Israeli genocide of Gaza because those people make crazy demands no ethnic supremacy anymore, which for you've said before, would be anti-Semitic. No, they don't give a shit about that. They support Israel because their countries support Israel, and it's just what they do. It's what their countries do and have done since the country's fucking inception, obviously. And they support Ukraine, not because of the actions of you or any of these supposedly brave pro-Ukrainian activists and you sufficiently regulating your rhetoric. Because the fact of the matter is, most pro-Ukrainian people don't even do that. Most pro-Ukrainian people think that Russians are orcs and that Russia should be balkanized into 1,000 different countries. But even aside from that, it's nothing to do with what you or they think. It's simply to do with a geopolitical calculation. Why is your brain like this? Why are you so stupid? beggars belief, honestly. Lonerbox is the dumbest person I've ever seen in my life. And that's saying a lot because I've seen Willie Mack's show. And I've seen Ethan Klein. He's dumber than both of them. The fact that any of you let this guy posture as a supposed, like, leftist pro-Palestinian for so long is so comical. And you should all think about what exactly these people were even saying in the past that led you to believe that they were pro-Palestine, anti-imperialism leftists. Because there was nothing there at all. Not in the case of ContraPoints or in the case of Lonerbox. How did this fucking happen? How did you let them posture to the point that you could even be disappointed in them when they go full Zionist? Because they were really full Zionists before. They just slightly hit it and you never noticed it. Just so absurdly dumb. Every time these people come with a supposed analogy or a hypothetical, it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life. It's unbelievable. Now you need to give me all your money for subjecting myself to that.